Today I want to talk about pre-shift. Every restaurant needs to have one. It's where training gets done, information's exchanged, you set your employees up for success. Daily pre-shift, okay, should have a script. And it's like anything else. If you do an outstanding job of presenting this, you get outstanding results. You do a mediocre job of doing a pre-shift, you're going to get mediocre results. If you want your employees to have a smile, if you want them to be engaging, if you want them to have passion, show those traits at the pre-shift, start the shift off on the right note. First thing, day, date, and the significance of it. Okay, when you remind people where they are, what they're doing, what's happening, you can point toward what's going to happen that night. Customer profile, volume, cover count, peaks and valleys of the evening's business can usually be figured out when you look at the day and the date, and the weather. The weather, if there's a patio or outdoor dining, obviously it's affected. Bad weather will also affect arrival times and turn times. Okay, so make sure that that information, so that everybody's kind of awareness is what you're trying to raise here, and start people thinking about and preparing so that they are ready to take on the task of the evening. Okay, third, the quote, inspire thought. I like to begin with a quote, whether it's Gandhi or John Lennon or Tom Peters or Yogi Berra. You want to start those intellectual juices flowing. Maybe there's a little bit of engagement. Maybe you could have someone read the quote in the crowd and kind of start the process, the back and forth of the pre-shift. It's important. Data. Share business metrics. Make them a stakeholder. Invest them in the business. Let them know common business numbers that would be easy to figure out on their own anyway, if with a menu and a count the number of tables and people coming through. So I mean, tell them about your gross volume, tell them about your gross revenue, talk about cover counts, talk about trends, talk about are you going up, are you going down, based on year, period to period, where you stand relative to your budgeted goals. The more people you have invested as stakeholders, the higher the probability that you're going to achieve those goals. Mission notes. Every business should have a mission statement. Okay, if you don't have a mission statement or a vision statement with promises and core values, these are the types of things, all good, well-run businesses have them, but they're no good if you tell them once to the people on the way in, or maybe they live on the bulletin board next to the employee restroom. You need to drive it home. You need to bring it every single day at every shift and remind them. This is the compass for them. This is what they look to when they're in situations deciding, do I do this or that? Is this good or is this bad? Is this allowed or is this not allowed? The mission statement and the mission notes will help drive that decision-making process. Food info. This is where the training begins. And this is where, again, you're setting up your sales team for success. The chef should be out here for food info, or his or her representative. Specials, 86s, any changes in the menu, you want to make sure the customer wants to trust the server. The server needs to be trusted to be successful. Trust is based upon two different things. That the person trusting honestly believes they're cared about, and honestly believes that the person serving them knows what they're talking about. So set them up for success, okay? This is the know what they're talking about part. So also, it's a time to do some education, and you can talk about cultural tradition on the dishes, cooking equipment, cooking technique, modern trends, raw materials, organic, fair trade, etc. These are the types of things that you can bring up and set them up for success by giving them more and more information and sales hooks and the ability to answer all of the guest questions. Beverage, okay? Beverage, beer, wine, and cocktail, this is where you build a check. This is where your sales opportunity to raise your check average is the greatest, okay? Beer, wine, cocktail. And this is where you want to build that, I know what I'm talking about with the guest, okay? So if you talk about beer, you want to people should know the difference between a pale ale and a lager and an IPA, a stout. When you talk about wine, you should talk in clear descriptors. And you know, we take out a description from the Wine Spectator or the Wine Advocate and steal some words. But you want to talk about a wine in terms of raspberry, strawberry, grassy, mint, oak, vanilla. Those are the kind of terms that people say, ah, I get what it tastes like. So when you say it's nice or it's rich, or you tell a story about the winemaker, or you tell someone where it's from, I mean, it's not totally meaningless, but it doesn't get to the heart of what you should be doing, and that's telling them what does it taste like. And ingredients of cocktails. If you've got something special, whether it's a real great mark or brand name, or whether you're using wild, fresh blueberries instead of blueberry juice or blueberry extract, tell people. Make sure that the staff, your sales team, knows about it. Service notes, service steps, service points, social media, shopper reports. Okay, social media, Yelp. If you get a negative Yelp review, use it as an opportunity to engage and exchange some information back and forth. Talk to the person who was responsible. Don't attack them. Don't go full on and try to destroy their self-esteem or reprimand them in a public forum. And talk to them. Say, hey, what happened? You know, what can we do as a team? What can I do as a manager so that this doesn't happen again? And begin some engagement. Use it as an opportunity. Steps of service. If you've taken the time to put together the 6 or 25 steps of service that a server should engage in during the course of taking care of a customer, renew it every single shift at the pre-shift off the script. Okay? If you got 20 steps of service, just roll through 1 or 2 each period. And if you're doing it every pre-shift, it's just going to come around again and again, and it's reinforcement that gets the job done. Okay? Deployment. Everybody, obviously, station assignments is important. Everybody knows where they're working and who they're working with. But it's also good if you're going to make any changes to what might be an assumed service station setup or an assumed distribution of responsibilities or tasks. Now's the time to do it, okay, in the deployment thing. And manager zones. If a manager needs to swipe the POS or open up reservation slots or give permission to open a section of the restaurant, the people involved in that process needs to know which manager provides that approval and where that manager is going to be during the shift. And last but not least, employee praise, okay? Don't miss an opportunity. This is the last act. It's the final chapter. It is the epilogue to this short little theater piece called the pre-shift, okay? It is the dessert of this meal. Make it sweet. Okay, take the opportunity to say, hey, Jeff, yesterday when you took it upon yourself to pull the coffee station apart, clean everything off, put it back together, stock it properly, that was fabulous. That made the evening better for all of us. We all benefited from it. I want to say as the manager, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Lisa, the way you handled that customer who was upset because the mistake that was not your fault was so intelligent and so professional. Thank you very much. That customer took the time to seek me out and thank me and used your name and told me how great you are. I agree with him. You were great. That was awesome. Thank you very much. Okay? That shows the employees when you do that A, you know what you're doing, B, you genuinely care about them. Don't miss that opportunity.